What's up, Motivator family? It's Motivator Carter coming at you with a new motivational video. So today's motivational video will be about uh, gaslighting at work and how to deal with it and how to cope with gaslighting at work. So let's get right into it. So first, we're gonna talk about the some signs that you're being gaslighted at work. Excuse me. So one sign is that you're consistently questioning your perception, as in like. Well, before I even get into it, so gaslighting is a textbook form of manipulation used by psychopaths or those with narcissistic tendencies. That it basically states that they will use persistent denial or they will do whatever they can to make you question your own perception and reality to the point where you're starting to think that maybe you're the one who's losing it, but in truth you're not losing it, and it's this person who's getting into your mind, making you think that you are. And as I stated, the first step is you question your perception. And I can tell you from personal experience and from my friends' experience that they said that they experienced gaslighting at work, and also recent studies show that 75% of people, I think it was, it says 75% of people have experienced some form of gaslighting in their workforce. So let's move on to the second one. So the second one is that a gaslighter will say that you're making mistakes or you're doing something wrong even though you know you're not. If you know you're very proficient in your job, or you're what's that word I'm looking for, you're competent, and you know you're doing it right. So the best way to avoid thinking you're doing something wrong in your job or you could be doing something better is always ask an outside influence, because believe it or not, outside influence will always tell you, will never steer you in the wrong direction. I can say it's from personal experience and some experiences from my friends. They all said the same thing. They all told me the same thing. Like, everyone else tells me I'm doing good, but the one person above me or who's in the same position as me will say I'm doing bad. So it's always good to get an outside opinion, because the outside opinion actually is more meaningful than those who are inside. Because those who are inside, they see you're doing a good job of your work, but they're gonna try to degrade it so they can make you feel worse than what you are, and they can make themselves feel more important. Another form of gaslighting is that they'll tell you that they never said that, but wholeheartedly in your mind and all that hey, they did do that. So a way to do that is that a way to avoid it is take personal notes of it. Like, tell somebody who you trust with a passion that hey, this person did that, so that you can at least have I won't say a paper trail, but for the sake of argument, we're gonna call it a paper trail. So you're gonna have somebody, hey, this person knows, you know it. So now it's not like, okay, hey, you're just saying it just to say it. Now you got people who can back you up on what you're saying. So another form of gaslighting is this one. This one's important to me, and this one's important to some friends of mine that I know. Is that they'll criticize you in private but praise you in front of a group, or vice versa. They'll praise you. They'll criticize you in private. Uh, they'll criticize you in private, but they'll praise you in front of a group. And I can say from personal experience that I've had to deal with that. Like, in private they'll say, "Hey, you're doing a good job." Like, this is from here and there. It goes. It depends on who. It depends on a person, the scenario. Like in private, I'll have someone say, "Hey, you're doing a good job. We appreciate what you're doing." But then I'll have times where there's somebody whenever there's a group, they'll do their best to make it seem like you're the worst person in the world, or vice versa. Or vice versa. Like I said, that in front of a group, they'll be like, "Hey, yeah, this man doing good. I appreciate him." But in private, they'll share their private thoughts and their stuff. So a good way to do it is like I said, outside influence always wins. Like having an outside influence who knows your worth and knows your work ethic, because believe it or not, outside influences will tell you what you need to hear. They'll always steer you in the right direction. I had never had an outside influence who steered me in the wrong direction, and they have. Then they're with the gaslighter. Another form of gaslighting is that they'll leave you out of discussions or important meetings. And I don't know this personally because I never had to deal with this because I've never been left out. But I do know friends who have been left out. And like, I'll tell you, one of my friends, like his group left him out of the conversation. They left him out of the loop. And when he wasn't sure what to do, like they did everything in their power to make him look like he was such a terrible person. And before we get into it further, I'm not gonna name names. I'm just gonna say my friend, this person, that person, name A. And like I said, he was left out of the loop, and they did everything they can to make him look like that he was just a terrible person. But but luckily, like I said before, I always had a paper trail of proof that he did. So he had outside influences who knew about it. He had, recordings. He had screenshots. He was able to take it up. He was able to take it up with someone who had higher authority than those in his group, and he was able to not to say get away scot free, but he was able to at least deflect enough blame off of him that they couldn't blame him no more, and that they had to feel forced to start communicating with him better when they would than what they were already doing from Jump Street. So this right here, I think this right here is number one. Is that when you try to address an issue that you have with the person who's giving you a hard time, they'll do their best to dismiss your concerns. And this is from personal experience that I had a certain leader that who was giving me such a hard time about every little thing. Like I'll say something, and like he will blast me or go off on me. And the thing is, I never say nothing stupid out of my mouth or say something that's not profound. When I have questions or I have comments or I have something that or I answer questions, like I get look like this person would treat me terribly or go off on me about something, but whenever somebody else says something stupid or not so profound or just make a dumb joke or comment, he be right there laughing with them, joking with them, and giving them the time of day. But when I do something, oh, it's a problem. It's like a wrench in their gear. So a way to address that is that, like I said, like this right here is gonna go to everything. Always talk to someone outside. This because trust me, there's someone on the outside who cares enough that they will give you the right advice to steer you forward, and there's someone on the outside who cares enough that if you're not able to report it or you're not being heard, they'll report for you and they'll have your back. And number seven right here will be other people start noticing that how the gaslighter treats you. And I know from personal experience because when I was having a conversation with someone who I'm really close with, they said, "Hey, if you what I want to see more of you is you to start speaking up for yourself because I've noticed that people give you such a hard time and I don't say you will bottle it up, but you will you'll shut yourself down, walk away for a little while, and I can see you're ready to explode, but somehow some way you don't. And they say that's good when you guys don't explode, but I want you to start speaking up for yourself before you explode. And to me, I'm like, I appreciate the advice, but at the same time, it's like if you know the science, okay, I can do but so much. What are you going to do if I do, and if things don't get any better, if I do speak up for myself? So a good way to help yourself out with that is that like I said, keep the paper trail, keep that stuff going, and trust me, somebody somewhere is paying attention. They're gonna help you out. Like you think you're alone, but believe it or not, you're being watched somehow, some way. You don't know you like people will come when you least expect it. That's why I learned from personal experience. And another thing is that a gaslighter will do is that they will manipulate a situation to embarrass you. Because like I mentioned before, that my certain leader that who made everything seem like it was my fault for every little thing, who did everything he could to make everything hard on me and make it look like that I was such a terrible person, but everyone else was like angels and all that stuff. Like I said, if you know that they're trying to flip the script on you, try to make it look like that you're up to no good, or you're not trying to do your due diligence to be the best that you can be, then that's a good sign of someone being a gaslighter and a manipulator, and that's when you have to follow your emotion and take it up to someone who's going to listen to you, who isn't biased to this person, who isn't biased to you, who has an open mind to listen. And this is the last telltale sign that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have experienced before, is that no matter how hard you work, your work ethic is never good enough. And this is a good form of gaslighting right here, because I can tell from my experience and my friends' experience that some friends of mine, that when we do our work and yet nobody notices that, but yet when someone else does one tiny little thing, they get noticed, and then their work is good enough, and they always like, oh, why can't you work as hard as so and so? Why can't you work hard as so and so? So and so does this, so and so does that. That's good sign of gaslighting. And the best way to do it is, like I said, like I've been saying, I'm gonna keep repeating, outside influences, because those on the outside are paying really good special attention, and they will do what they can to remind you that, hey, we know we know it's you, and we appreciate all that you're doing. And if there's anything I can leave you guys with, a little message is that regret always comes last. Stop playing with people's feelings. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. People, if you're being gaslighted, don't play with your emotions and think that you're actually, that you're going crazy for, you know, act for saying, hey, look, I'm had enough of this. Uh, you'll regret it because in regret comes last when you don't stand up for yourself, you don't do nothing for it, and and then that you being gaslighted and you feeling like okay, nothing can help, it will echo in your head forever, and it'll keep coming back, to you, and you if you sow in the marrows of being gaslighted and mistreated in the workforce, you're gonna reap always being gaslighted and being mistreated because you have not done what your due diligence to get yourself out of a situation or to make the situation more bearable. What you give, you get. If you give the gaslight what they want, which is you losing you being emotional, you losing control of yourself, or you being stunned silent, or you being quiet and timid about it, you're gonna get more and more mistreated and more negativity and negative vibes. And like I said, do not give them what they want. Ask for help. Listen to your emotions. Listen to your mind. If your mind says it's right, if this is not right, then act on it and do something to fix it. And that's all I got for you. I will see y'all next motivational live. Love y'all, Motivate fam.